Good morning, everyone. So we're gonna bake chocolate chip cookies today, and we're gonna make the gooey ones. One of my fondest memories of baking with my grandma was baking chocolate chip cookies. Every time we went to her house, she had chocolate chip cookies, and she was one of my favorite people to bake with, and it's just a really special memory for me. So that's why I thought we'd make them today. So I've already washed my hands. My hair's already up. And I've got all my ingredients laid out, measured, and ready to go. So I'll show you those right now and we can get started after you go wash your hands. So we have our brown sugar, white sugar, butter, flour, our egg, chocolate chips, vanilla, baking soda, and salt. And I already measured them out with my measuring spoons and put them in this container here. And then we have one silver bowl, and I, again, always stir with a spatula instead of a wooden spoon, but a wooden spoon works great too. So we were talking about Earth Day last week. April 22nd was Earth Day, and one of the things I said I like to do is keep my lights off. So again, my lights are off, and I usually, even though it's darker outside, I usually still keep them off unless I absolutely need them, or unless it's really early in the morning and really late at night when it gets really dark inside. But so this is one of the things I commit to, is keeping the lights off unless I absolutely need them. So let's get started on baking. The first thing that we're going to add is our melted butter. So I melted it in the microwave beforehand after I measured it out, and we're going to pour it into our bowl. And the next thing we're going to do is add both of our sugars. So we have a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and we packed it in there as the recipe called for, so we can dump that in. And then we will add in our white sugar. And I'm going to keep the 1/2 cup and 1/4 cup measuring cup out because I'm going to need them again for flour. So I'm just going to put them off to the side. So our bowl looks like this. So we're going to give it a quick stir. So now that it's all stirred, we're going to add in 1 egg. So remember, we're going to just bang it on the side of our bowl once, twice, and then sometimes it was 3 times. And then you're just going to pull it apart like that. And I put this right in the sink, and I wash my. So now that my hands are clean again, we can go ahead and put in our vanilla, and I know it smells so good, but it does not taste the same. It's not sweet tasting. So we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla, so I'm just going to measure that out here. So that's 1 teaspoon, and 2 teaspoons, and if you put in an extra little splash, that's okay too. And then we're going to stir. So as you can see, it's nice and smooth. Now we've got all the butter, the egg, the sugar, vanilla all mixed together. There should not be any lumps, so if there's any lumps, just stir them out. And now we're going to add in our flour, our baking soda, and our salt. So my bag of flour is ginormous. What I would normally do is have it in a smaller container, but I forgot to do that. So I'm just going to reach all the way in. I have 1 cup measuring cup. And just like I did last week, I'm just going to use this side to get the excess off. So there's 1 cup. And then we need 3/4 of a cup. So 3/4 of a cup would be 1/2 of a cup plus 1/4 of a cup, and that would make 3/4 of a cup. So get the 1/2 cup. There we go, 1/2 cup and 1/4 of a cup. Alright, so now we're ready to throw that in. I'm just going to close the bag first. Okay, so now we can add our flour, baking soda, and salt. So I always add the flour, I put it right down in the bowl and then pour it in. That's 1 cup, 1/4 of a cup, so we've got 1 1/4 cup, and then we're going to add in another 1/2 cup, so 1 1/2 cups. Okay, and then I already pre-measured my baking soda and salt, so I'm going to pour that in on top of the flour and then stir it really well. Got everything out of the bowl, and now we'll stir. So So once we've stirred it, it's going to look like this. Everything's combined together, and then all we need to do is mix in chocolate chips. So we have 1 cup of chocolate chips, and we'll just stir those in. When it's all mixed, it should look like this, and you are ready to put it onto your cookie sheet. So now we're ready to put it on our cookie sheet. I've lined mine with parchment paper. It just makes cleanup a little easier. I don't like it to stick, and we will start putting our cookies on. So the first thing I do is I take a tablespoon, and then I just make scoops for my cookie dough, like this. And then I just put them onto the cookie sheet. Now I have quite a big cookie sheet, so I can probably fit 15 cookies. Most cookie sheets you're probably going to fit about 12. And you want to make sure when you're putting them on that you're leaving a space in between. Just like we leave a finger space when we're doing our writing, we're going to do the same thing for our cookies. So we have our scoop. Sorry, I'm just trying to get that so you can see. And then I'm going to leave a space and put the next ones down. There, now you can probably see it. Okay, so now that I have clean hands again, you can see my cookie sheet here. I decided to just go with 12. I'm not sure how far these are going to spread. I made them a little bigger. Sometimes you get runaway chocolate chips, so you can eat it or you can stick it back in the cookie. Alright, so the first set of cookies we're going to let cool down. And I still have some batter left, so we're going to put these cookies onto the cookie tray and bake them. So I'm using a different method this time. I'm going to roll them out and squish them and see what kind of cookie that gives us. Because sometimes with recipes I like to just experiment and see what different results we can get. Okay, so here's our cookies. I got about 18 because I made some of them bigger. The ones in the back here are the ones I did not roll out, and then the front ones are the ones that I rolled out. I prefer these ones here. Thank you so much for baking again with me today. I'm glad that we could bake this chocolate chip cookie recipe. That's one of my absolute favorite recipes to make. And I'd love to hear what some of your favorite recipes are. Do you have any family traditions of things that you like baking? You can send me your photos of either the chocolate chip cookies that you baked or other baking that you did.